can scrape. Follow me now. I heading round to Exuma. Follow me. Then I get down to Inagua. Follow me. Then I heading straight up to Bimani. Follow me. Now we back to Nassau, you see. Follow me now. Don't mind anybody else. You got to think for yourself. Some things I could do myself, but right now I really need your help. Just listen attentively. I got some questions to ask ya. If I pick up something and wave, follow me. If I grab someone and whine, follow me. If I get up, jump up and down, I say, follow me. If I teach you how to rake and scrape, follow me. If I pick up something and wave, follow me. If I grab someone and whine, follow me. If I get up, jump up and down, I say, follow me. If I teach you how to rake and scrape, follow me now. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Would you follow me now?
Boy, let me tell you something. I know, but boy, I have a clue of something.
Tonight, a landslide win for the PLP at the polls. This as Michael Pintar deciding whether or not to stay on as F&M leader following a devastating defeat. And later, the COI with strong numbers as Pinewood continues to be a battleground constituency. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Nawal. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, history being made, the Progressive Liberal Party securing a second consecutive term in office, delivering a commanding victory in the 2026 general election, reshaping the country's political landscape in the process. But beyond the celebrations, the results are also sparking a bigger conversation across the country and the wider region, whether voters are still driven by confidence in political leadership or whether many are simply choosing what they see as the lesser of two options. Tonight, questions about party division, third-party growth, voter frustration, and demands for greater accountability now taking center stage as the country looks ahead to the next 5 years. Our Jose Etienne leads off our coverage tonight.
On Tuesday night, the country witnessed a sweeping triumph that rewrote the political playbook, upending the era of one-term governments that became the status quo since 2002. It was a resounding election that left the Free National Movement reeling on the opposition benches, while the Progressive Liberal Party goes back-to-back for the first time in 5 decades.
The Bahamian people chose progress.
He's now the Right Honorable Prime Minister Philip Davis, now that he led his team to another major victory. He addressed a packed crowd of party supporters at Clifford Park shortly after briefly monitoring the election results with residents in Cat Island. And there, PLP supporters were declaring victory while the votes were still landing. Davis, now tasked with a second mandate, says the work continues.
We want a country in which all of you and your children and your grandchildren will thrive. They have promised you much, and I promise you, with every bone in my body and every beat of my heart, we will do all that we can to deliver.
But still, a major cloud hanging over the election was the dismal voter turnout, just as it did in 2021 when the Davis-led PLP was first elected. Prime Minister Davis accepts that the scale of his victory does not diminish the need for higher electoral participation.
This is not good for the democratic fabric of our society. We must do all that we can to ensure that every Bahamian in every election feels that their vote counts.
Nonetheless, the Bahamas joins other regional countries such as Jamaica, Barbados, and Antigua that saw governments re-elected. The Davis administration has highlighted what it calls progress on energy reform, tackling crime, landing dozens of foreign direct investments, infrastructural upgrades, and giving more attention to family islands. But the Davis administration hasn't had a perfect term, facing scathing scrutiny over overspending and the abuse of taxpayer dollars, buyouts for the politically connected, while union unrest remained the order of the day. Whether those issues and others resulted in voters casting their ballots against the PLP, Davis says their concerns haven't fallen on deaf ears.
I've listened to you. I've heard you. And I want you to know that I will continue to work hard for all Bahamians, as I've sought to do these past years.
The governing PLP has secured 33 of the 41 seats, losing their leader of government business and Freetown Member of Parliament Wayne Monroe, while other political hopefuls missed the mark. However, Davis, Cooper, and the rest of the team continue to defend its first term while looking to use its second term to make its case to the voters, potentially in 2031. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, regional leaders, along with the United States Secretary of State, tipping their hats off to Prime Minister Philip Davis on his electoral victory. Davis becoming the first Prime Minister since 1997 to secure a consecutive victory at the polls. In a statement, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who secured 3 consecutive terms, asserted that Davis's victory is one of continued trust, but also one of continued responsibility, while acknowledging the country's role in confronting external shocks and climate vulnerability. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness also congratulating Davis and the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who applauded the role of international observers in country, while also making known its intent to advance transparent and reliable economic and infrastructure partnerships. Well, a devastating loss at the polls has left the opposition Free National Movement at a crossroads tonight, now facing the real possibility of a leadership shakeup as pressure builds internally and questions loom. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details in this report.
Opposition Free National Movement now facing the prospect of a party leadership convention following a landslide defeat at the 2026 general election polls to the Progressive Liberal Party, which now puts pressure on the F&M leadership. Party leader Michael Pintard emerged as the only member of the party's leadership team to successfully retain his seat, while Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright and Chairman Dr. Dwayne Santi both suffered a devastating loss at the polls.
I believe in conventions. I've honored it. But more importantly, I'm committed to having a discussion with the team, and over the course of the next few days, we will make a decision.
Under Pintard's leadership, this is now the party's 3rd straight loss. Back in 2023, the F&M was defeated during a by-election for West Grand Bahama and Bimini. 2 years later, in 2025, a Golden Isles by-election saw the PLP's Darren Pickstock emerge victorious over the F&M's Brian Brown. As convention talks are imminent, there are speculation on who will challenge the leadership of the party. Eyes are fixed toward veteran politicians Dr. Andre Rollins and Kwesi Thompson. Meanwhile, could we even see newcomers to frontline politics make that move like Michael Barnett Ellis, Lincoln Deal, or Frazette Gibson? With the party unofficially winning 8 seats, those elected say despite the party's defeat, they are confident in the future of the F&M.
It's not the result that we wanted. It's not the result, I believe, that any of the supporters would have wanted. But the people of the Bahamas have spoken. We respect their views.
We're going to get together and refocus, reshape this party to be one of the best parties in this country. And I don't think all is lost.
And while the future of Pintard's leadership remained uncertain, he rallied up party supporters, emphasizing there's no backing down.
Work continues. No retreat, no surrender.
The F&M now represents Marco City, Central Grand Bahama, East Grand Bahama, Killarney, Freetown, Michael, St. Anne's, and Long Island. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, the 2026 general election also delivering a surprising showing from the only third party in the race, sparking conversation about a possible shift in Bahamian politics. Rebecca Bain has the details in this report.
It was a shocking race to watch for many Bahamians as the Coalition of Independents managed to draw significant voter support in the 2026 general election, emerging as one of the strongest third-party showings in modern Bahamian political history.
I definitely think within our lifetime we're going to see more independents be elected. Yeah, I think they should be encouraged. I think they should continue to stick together.
While some were surprised by the party's performance, others say the results signal a shift in the political landscape, with more Bahamians now appearing willing to look beyond the Free National Movement and Progressive Liberal Party duopoly that has dominated Bahamian politics for decades.
I can be honest, them numbers I saw last night, I really proud of them. And Lincoln being angle,
Yeah, I think they should be encouraged. I think they should continue to stick together.
The party pulled nearly 13,800 votes nationwide, a striking number when compared to most third parties in recent election history. For context, third parties in the Bahamas have traditionally struggled to gain traction at the polls. In many general elections, smaller parties and independent movements have often failed to cross even the 5,000 to 10,000 vote mark nationally, while winning little to no seats in parliament. The Democratic National Alliance, for example, generated national attention in the 2012 general election, but secured just under 15,000 votes and failed to win a seat. Other third-party movements over the years have typically seen support splintered across constituencies without translating into parliamentary representation. Party leader Lincoln Bain says the Coalition of Independents' mission was to bring real voices into the halls of Parliament and break the long-standing dominance of the country's two major political parties.
People with doctorate degrees, real Bahamians who are qualified for the first time in every single area. I think a lot of Bahamians saw that and they were willing to go with that. These weren't the regular names that you know about. These weren't car salesmen who could come and talk you to death. These were people with skills who were ready to do something different in this country and bring a vision that could take this country forward.
Bain also believes the party's candidates connected with everyday Bahamians in a way that resonated with voters, saying that authenticity and grassroots engagement helped drive support at the polls.
We're not doing this for a win. We're doing this for the people. We believe that the people need an option. We believe that the people need a voice in the House, man. We believe that something different needs to go in the House. A lot of Bahamians are just tired of the political process. A lot of Bahamians have given up on this process, and that's why we came about to give the people an option. It's the FNM and PLP who's been failing you.
And despite falling short of winning seats, Bain says this is far from the end for the Coalition of Independents, arguing that the movement has already changed the national political conversation and laid the foundation for future elections.
What we need is real opposition in the House. Who's going to stand up and fight? And that's what we have been for the last 5 years, and that's what we're going to continue to be.
Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, last night's election results showing an overwhelming number of returning faces and surprising shifts in voter disbursement. Janelle Longley has the breakdown.
Tensions reaching a boiling point this afternoon during the Pinewood constituency recount over at Montable, with a Progressive Liberal Party agent being removed from the room by police officers after a heated exchange broke out inside the counting center. The incident unfolded as representatives from the Progressive Liberal Party, the Free National Movement, and the Coalition of Independents, including leader and candidate for the area Lincoln Bain, were challenging several ballots, and that's when the FNM personnel claimed that she was pushed by the PLP personnel. The deputy returning officer called for the removal of the agent in an effort to restore order and allow the count to continue. Officers stepped in and escorted the agent out. Now, Eyewitness News understand that the recount began around 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Bain was seen throughout the recount examining each ballot and raising questions when needed. Now, at this time, he has unofficially claimed 1,132 votes.
We have seen enough already to go to election court. There's stuff I'm not going to mention until we go to our lawyers, but there's some stuff here that is happening, even in the same procedure, that makes this enough to go to election court, and you're going to be hearing about that in short order.
The Pinewood constituency is made up of 13 polling divisions with 5,544 registered voters. Based on the unofficial results, 3,565 ballots were cast in the 2026 general election, representing an approximate voter turnout of 65%. Incumbent for the area, Miles LaRota, credit his success at the polls to the party's base in the area.
The numbers are consistent. I'm around 1,500. When Kalis Roll lost in 2017, he was around 1,600 votes. When I won in 2021, I was around 1,700. And you look at polling division by polling division, we have been consistent across. Of the 13 polling divisions, I had over 100 votes, I think, in 9 of them.
Political watchers had long projected Pinewood as a key battleground constituency this election season, emerging as a race to watch between the incumbent, LaRota, COI leader Bain, and the Free National Movement's newcomer, Denari Roll.
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm still happy. Everything I did was from the bottom of my heart. I still think I'm the better candidate, but over the next 5 years, you'll be hearing more and seeing more of me inside the community and across the Bahamas.
Laurentia Smith, of course, talking about that drama unfolding in Pinewood Gardens earlier today, a story we will continue to follow. Well, we have public reaction tonight following the PLP's win at the polls. Our Danielle Dean hit the streets.
The Progressive Liberal Party walking away from the 2026 general election with a commanding 33 seats, 4 times more than the Free National Movement's 8, securing a historic second consecutive term and reshaping the political landscape of the Bahamas. Eyewitness News hitting the streets to get public reaction to the landslide result, with many voters saying the outcome reflected a clear message from the electorate.
I'm actually feeling confident about it, happy about it.
I think it's only important that we allow them another 5 years to go ahead and continue a lot of the initiatives that they had already started.
The people get the government that they deserve, because whether you come out and vote and you vote for somebody and you vote for them knowing what they're all about, right? So then you get what you deserve. If you don't come out and vote, you surely get what you deserve.
While many celebrated the result, some voters expressed concern over the size of the opposition in Parliament, questioning whether the country will have enough balance and oversight inside the House of Assembly. Yamakor resident Jermaine Clark saying the low opposition count was particularly disappointing.
I would prefer more balance in the House, stronger opposition, and we didn't get that, so that's kind of disappointing. But overall, I think both of the parties they ain't really doing too much for the country. So.
Meanwhile, the outcome in the Pinewood constituency continued to spark conversation, with some residents believing a win for Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain could have shifted the national political dynamic and forced greater accountability.
I was looking forward to see Lincoln Bain in Parliament to see if he would keep their feet to the fire. But only is one seat. I didn't want the COI to really be too powerful in the House, but yeah, that's basically it.
It was a little bit of disappointment surrounding that, because I felt like that particular seat would have allowed for a bit more opposition in the House this go around. So it was a little bit unfortunate to see, but I definitely think that that particular person should not be discouraged and to try again, because those results said something, and what it said was that the people are definitely eager for change.
Lincoln Bain, that kind of hurt a bit, because I really felt that if he did have the opportunity, you may have seen a bit of change, and just by watching him, daily and everything. But hey, let's see how it goes next 5 years, maybe.
Others told Eyewitness News their vote was not necessarily about supporting the PLP, but rather a rejection of the Free National Movement, citing internal divisions, candidate choices, and concerns about the party's direction.
They did not have a better strategy. Try move forward instead of you going backwards.
Now with the ballots counted and the results decided, attention turns to governance, as Bahamians wait to see how quickly the newly elected members of Parliament will move to deliver on their campaign promises and respond to the issues that dominated this election season. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, last night's election results showing an overwhelming number of returning faces and surprising shifts in voter disbursement. Janelle Longley has the breakdown in this report.
A total of 41 seats, 33 secured by the Progressive Liberal Party, leaving 8 for the returning opposition Free National Movement. Another sweep making it clear that the Bahamian populace has chosen progress. But what left many on the edge of their seats on election night was the impact the Coalition of Independents had on the final scores, some not going down without a fight, like Lincoln, Bain, and Pinewood, who not only crushed the Free National Movement's Denari roll at the polls, but was also initially projected to win. But an additional 300-plus votes delivered the seat back to the Progressive Liberal Party's Miles LaRota. And in Englerston, while Glenys Hannah Martin secured another historic term, the coalition's Faith Presenti also unseated the Free National Movement's Heather MacDonald with the second most votes. But there were some hot seats that lived up to expectations, like Killarney, won by the Free National Movement's Michaela Barnett Ellis by just 20 more votes than the Progressive Liberal Party's Robin Lyons. An unexpected close race for many, Central and South Abaco, going to Bradley Fox Jr. with just 10 votes over the Free National Movement's Jeremy Sweeting. Others with greater distance, Long Island, 103 votes gave Dr. Andre Rollins the victory over the PLP's Renika Knowles. The New St. James constituency, taken by Progressive Liberal Party's Owen Wells by 112 votes, more than the Free National Movement's deputy leader, Shannon Dawn Cartwright. In Southern Shores, some were shocked that seat went to the Progressive Liberal Party's Obi Roberts over the Free National Movement's Denali Penn Mackey with a 164-vote difference. Some thought the PLP's Patricia DeVoe would be on the outs, but she secured her seat with an estimated 364 votes, more than the Free National Movement chairman, Dr. Dwayne Sands. In Grand Bahama, Pine Ridge Member of Parliament Ginger Moxie reclaimed victory with a more than 900-vote difference from the Free National Movement's Charlene Reed. West Grand Bahama's Kingsley Smith also securing his term with a 790-vote difference. The Free National Movement reclaimed 3 seats won in the 2021 election. Opposition leader Michael Pintard leading the way with more than 1,000 votes over his opponents, PLP's Edward Wan. In East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson claimed victor over PLP's Dr. Monique Pratt. And Central Grand Bahama, the closest race out of that bunch, which crowned F&M's Frazette Gibson the winner, with only 68 more votes than PLP's Park O'Deal. All female incumbents of the Progressive Liberal Party retained their seats, including Marathon's Lisa Ramming by more than 400 votes, more than the F&M's Dr. Jacqueline Penn Knowles. There were other sweeping victors in the race, some are surprised by the margins, others expected. In Fort Charlotte, Sebas Bastian beat out the F&M's Travis Robinson by more than 2,000 votes. In Centerville, Jomo Campbell won with 1,400 more votes than the F&M's Darvin Russell. In Seabreeze, Leslia Miller-Bryce secured more than 1,300 votes than the F&M's Trevania Clark Hall. In Golden Gates, Pia Glover Rolls securing over 1,200 more votes than the F&M's Michael Folks. Elizabeth JoBeth Colby Davis won by more than 1,000 votes over the F&M's Heather Hunt. The new Bimini and Barry Islands constituency went over to the PLP's Randy Wohl with 211 more votes than the F&M's Carlton Bowleg. Prime Minister Philip Davis and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper also reclaiming their seats with sweeping victories. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Reports of low voter turnout in the recent election raising concerns about public engagement in the democratic process, with some calling it a warning sign for the future of elections in the Bahamas. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you think low voter turnout is a threat to democracy here in the Bahamas? Some 81% of participants voting yes, it undermines election legitimacy. 17% voted no. Elections still reflect the will of those who vote. 0% said it depends on when the election is called, and 2% voted that they were unsure. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls, as your voice matters. Meantime, Fort Charlotte MP-elect Sebas Bastian is celebrating after delivering one of the most dominant constituency victories in recent Bahamian political history. The political newcomer securing some 3,386 votes, sweeping every polling division in Fort Charlotte and capturing nearly 70% of the vote as the PLP cruised into an historic re-election win. Now with the campaign campaign over and the celebrations winding down, Bastian revealing that work on the ground has already started and promising residents that there's much more to come.
We have a plan to address the flooding in the flood-prone areas of Fort Charlotte. We have phase 2 of the Technology, Arts and Culture Center that's slated to break ground this year. We have the housing project that we're working closely with the Ministry of Housing to bring into Fort Charlotte. We're just going to expand our programs within the Fort Charlotte Technology Center, which is going to include a lot of our AI training, business training, entrepreneurship programs. We're going to pay a very important attention to the special needs children as well. When you go door to door, you have a different appreciation of just how widespread that is. And I promise a lot of those residents that I would be their freedom fighter in that regard.
Bastian also crediting the people of Fort Charlotte for his landslide victory, adding that many of the plans now being put forward were developed through direct engagement with residents during the campaign.
We began instead of just traditional campaigning, we just assumed as we canvassed and started to develop our plan, which we ensured that the first 3 months we listened. And then we took that information, and that's how we came up with our plan for Fort Charlotte for the next 5 years, because we wanted to make sure that it incorporated what the residents really want. I didn't want to come in here and parachute and think that I know what Fort Charlotte wants. So that plan that we put out was a combination of great ideas for the community as well as the concerns that we got back in. And we just got to work.
On to some other news tonight. 11 persons lucky to be alive after their charter plane en route from Abaco to Grand Bahama crashed in waters in U.S. territory yesterday. United States authorities, including the U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Air Force, and also the RBDF, they launched search and rescue operations and located the occupants approximately 50 nautical miles northwest of Vero Beach. The AAIA says 3 passengers suffered minor injuries, though the full extent of those injuries remain unknown at this time. Search and rescue teams reportedly transported those passengers and crew directly to the U.S. Officials say the incident appears to have occurred outside of Bahamian territorial waters, and as a result, the Bahamas is not leading in this investigation. Authorities in Panama, where the aircraft is registered, along with United States aviation officials, have also been notified. Investigations are ongoing tonight. Police are also investigating an unidentified man who was found in waters near the Porter's Key dock yesterday. Authorities were first alerted before 4 after reports of a person in the water under the Sir Sidney Bridge was calling for help. Searches found no one. Now around 8 RBDF officers recovered the body of a nude, dark-skinned male floating near a mailboat. EMS confirmed no signs of life. Police say investigations to identify the deceased and determine the exact cause of death are ongoing tonight. Authorities are asking anyone with information to contact police or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. We've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel, scan that QR code on your screen, or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight. But when we come back, claims of vote buying emerged at Bamboo Town yesterday. We've got that story coming up. And later, first-time voters speak about their experience. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Scotiabank knows your first home is where you finally get to say, "This is me." It's where memories grow inch by inch. It's where hosting creates income and where your home can become a business. Or it's where little feet take their very first step into a future you've worked so hard to build. And we know how important it is to capture those special moments. At Scotiabank, our goal is to help you find a home for your first.
Welcome to Grand Bahama Tiles Post Mother's Day pop-up sale. This Thursday and Friday, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Come in and see our new arrivals of outdoor and indoor tiles with new designs and textures. There's something special waiting just for you. Just 2 days only. Call them at 352-7920. Restrictions apply.
Life moves fast, and the best moments happen when you get more from every connection.
Boy, life come true, eh? Appreciate it.
When your world is connected, more convenience comes naturally, so you can keep moving with more freedom and less interruption. From real-time updates to everyday essentials, you stay more in sync with life. Because when time matters, more reliability keeps you one step ahead. From home to work and everywhere life takes you, our network is built for more.
Yes, we got everything secured in the cloud.
Driven by a network built for today and designed to deliver more possibilities tomorrow.
Oh, how we getting ya?
Where entertainment is more immersive.
Who's again? Hey, watching the game.
And real-life moments come with more access instantly. This is connectivity that feels out of this world. Join the family and experience more. It's good to be alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everybody watching from Nassau. Tonight, we welcome a star. So please join me in welcoming the barbecue rap star, star of the show!
KFC, it's finger licking good.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. SO $6.58. Rube is coming in at $6.64. Shell, the highest tonight, $6.67. Your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. Well, it was a tight race in the Killarney constituency, ending in a win for the Free National Movement. Our Janelle Longley has the details.
It was one of the most closely watched seats of the 2026 general election. A four-way showdown featuring a former prime minister, a sitting senator, a third-party deputy leader, and a new Progressive Liberal Party standard bearer. But in the end, it was Michaela Barnett Ellis who emerged victorious for the Free National Movement. The former senator now making the political leap to Member of Parliament, crediting her ground campaign, community connection, and accessible style for helping her secure the win in a race decided by just a handful of votes.
You know, I've said to persons, opposition life isn't easy, particularly with this administration. One of the first things that we are going to do is reach out to the various communities in Killarney. One of my campaign promises, I hate to use that word, is to create a Killarney Council where we get together the various representatives from the various communities so we can talk about the issues that are needed and address them in a very wholesome manner.
But the story of Killarney extends far beyond the winner. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis returned to the political stage as an independent candidate, while Coalition of Independents Deputy Leader Dr. Veronica McIver also mounted a strong challenge. For Progressive Liberal Party candidate Robin Lyons, the narrow margin of just about 20 votes between herself and Barnett Ellis may signal something bigger.
It says that what you do, how you do it, who you are,
matters to this community.
And despite the loss, Line says her political journey may be far from over.
I'm always going to be here. Kalani has been a part of my community before this election. It's a part of my community now, and it'll be a part of my community in the future. Politically, what that means, I can't say at this moment, but it's always going to be a part of the journey.
Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis also faced a disappointing outcome, failing to reclaim the seat he once held for years.
The feeling, I still feel good. I woke up this morning and did my usual thing and just came from coffee house with my lovely wife, enjoying a nice morning of coffee.
And while he says he has not yet decided whether this marks the end of his political career, he insists his commitment to the people of Killarney remains strong.
Air from my mouth to her ear, yes, this office will stay open.
COI Deputy Leader Dr. Veronica McIver also turned heads in the race, outperforming expectations and even edging past Dr. Minnis in some polling divisions, finishing just behind him in the final tally.
I'm going to have to reevaluate to see where I go from here. I know I'm going to take some time off to travel and get a facial and that kind of stuff. But I just want to say that, democracy was at play yesterday. The problem that I have with our democracy is that it's not mature enough. In other words, we still need electoral reform.
For Michaela Barnett Ellis, the challenge now will be turning a narrow victory into lasting confidence from the constituency, or risk facing an even tougher fight next time around. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Janelle. Well, over in Long Island, one of only 8 seats secured by the Free National Movement this election, the elected Dr. Andre Rollins addressed a crowd of supporters post-victory. We got the details from our Danielle Dean.
F&M Long Island candidate Dr. Andre Rollins emerging the constituency's candidate of choice when the ballots were tallied on the island last night. The former PLP Fort Charlotte MP dusted off his political boots and made a return to frontline politics just this year after a 2-term hiatus. Rollins beat out the PLP's Renika Knowles and first-time political candidates COI Shara Pratt and independent candidate Natasha Turnquest.
Ladies and gentlemen, Long Island is a special place, but as you know, it has been dying. As the incoming member of parliament for Long Island, a member of the Free National Movement, it is my duty to work with all of you, the leaders of this island and those who are not interested in necessarily seeing themselves as leaders, but we have to work together to make this island what it has the potential to be.
Rollins called the moment bittersweet as his celebrations and the party's concession were simultaneous.
While I'm very happy that we won the election here on Long Island, as you can imagine, it is a bittersweet victory because unfortunately the results nationally are not what any of us expected or wanted. I just want you to know that it's going to be important for us to be very sober in how we approach the days ahead.
He says though only 7 of his F&M counterparts were able to secure seats, they will hold the Progressive Liberal Party and Prime Minister Philip Davis's feet to the fire and ensure that projects on the island don't just lay dormant.
I have to now work as a member of the opposition with Mr. Davis and the government that he is about to form so that Long Island continues to see evidence of attention being paid to it. I feel as though, and I want this to be said, a lot was left until the very end of the last government's tenure before they decided to actually make these investments. These are things that were, frankly, able to be done soon after the PLP won in 2021. They waited until late 2025 and 2026 to do these things, to dangle in front of voters a carrot so that it would be in the forefront of voters' minds that they were doing something for Long Island. Well, I'm certain that we will not be expected to wait until 2030.
He acknowledged the next 5 years will be difficult, but promised he'd constantly advocate for the change he campaigned on for Long Islanders. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, one of the most brutal and closely watched races ended in a landslide. The Mount Moriah constituency, dominated by questions of transparency, controversy, and character attacks, and has now dealt a former MP a crushing defeat. Devontae Hanna has the story tonight.
The ballots have been cast and the race to governance is complete. But one of the more talked about seats was Mount Moriah, the constituency which saw a face-off between the last two members of parliament, Michael Barnaby and Marvin Dames, who were marred by transparency calls. Both men, though successful before, were faced with new challenges on the campaign trail. Barnaby, the newly crowned second-term victor, was rocked by questions over a budget overrun, spending $141 million at the Beaches and Parks Authority.
Every single thing that I've done is to benefit the Bahamian people and to benefit the people of Mount Moriah. And I think they have the final verdict.
That's as much as Barnaby has said since the news first broke. On nomination day, he completely dodged questions from reporters. But like him, Dames' campaign was also clouded in controversy after it was revealed his former employee was charged in connection to a drug bust on a vessel the former national security minister owned. Within the last week, unverified reports surfaced of Dames reportedly being investigated by the Broward County Sheriff's Department. However, Dames maintains his innocence.
A lot of lies spread out there. Marvin Dames, through my entire life, has never been the subject of an investigation anywhere. My life is an open book. If you have something against me, show it. Bring the receipt.
Though legitimate concerns bringing intense scrutiny, both men fell victim to what many described as nasty campaigns that attacked their characters and even their work. It's a playbook Dames says he's all too familiar with.
Political theatrics and gamesmanship. Bahamians are sick and tired of that, you know? It's about what can you do to build a country? What can you do?
And left dead in the center was the people of Mount Moriah.
Politics is dirty. On all sides, whenever someone is doing good, there's going to be somebody to try and throw dirt in the water. So the rumors, the headlines, that don't come to us who looking for the community to get help.
That's the water under the bridge. We have to vote, which we have to vote, and that's the bottom line.
In the end, they resoundingly chose Barnaby, who crushed Dames at the polls. Unofficial numbers say the PLP candidate won 2,095 votes to 1,085. The coalition of independents, Linda Stubbs, brought up the rear with just 499 votes. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, allegations of voter buying surfaced in the Bambootown constituency yesterday as the general election got underway. Our Laurencia Smith was there as it all unfolded.
Voters steadily filed out of the Bambootown voting center Tuesday, describing the process as smooth and efficient, with many saying they were in and out within minutes, proudly waving their thumbs dipped in purple ink after casting their ballots. Despite the orderly flow and upbeat mood at the polling site, the day was without controversy as some serious allegations were levied.
It is alleged that they saw someone passing monies to a supporter. For the immediate situation right now, we would like to have that individual removed from the precincts of the polling place.
That's former Senate President Lachelle Adley, who serves as the legal counsel for the Progressive Liberal Party's constituency of Bambootown. Speaking with the media following the party making an official complaint with police deployed at the site, the media questioned Adley and she did not identify the political party involved. However, Eyewitness News understand that the allegations centered around supporters of the Free National Movement camp. While we sought to get answers from Dr. Dwayne Sands, who serves as the party chairman and the Bambootown candidate.
You know, desperation is setting in. Behind starts to seem imminent. You're going to see these desperation tactics. That's all this is. I can assure you, we are not engaged in any such activity. Activity has taken place, certainly not from the Free National Movement side. I can't speak from them other people.
Meanwhile, the presiding officer, Fowler, gave her account of the ordeal.
From my end, it has already been turned over to the police.
So the police officer, if they have to investigate, they would do.
Under Bahamian law, bribery in an election is considered an offense. The Parliamentary Election Act states that any person who directly or indirectly gives, lends, or offers money or other valuable contribution to influence a vote decision could be found guilty of voter bribery. Laurentia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, while the voting process was smooth for most yesterday, some residents experienced a frustrating and confusing process at the polls, leaving many of them walking away or voting on contested ballots. Janelle Longley has the details.
Going off of the information that I was provided with my voter's card, I went to the polling division at Gambia Primary School to vote. And when I went inside to vote, no one had my name on the register. There was no name, but the card clearly shows that I'm registered at 11 Killarney. So they did further research and found out that I'm actually still registered to Golden Isles and was strongly encouraging me to vote in that constituency. So because of all of this confusion, they opted for me voting for a colored ballot, which I was made to understand that it does not count as a vote. However, I was just so frustrated with the process. Like, at that point, it didn't matter. After casting my vote, I was met with the legal team who actually was on their way back to the polling office to actually fight for my case to allow me to vote in the constituency that I'm supposed to vote in. But unfortunately, because I already voted on the color ballot, that was not allowed.
Jasmine Munnings is just one in a number of individuals facing this inconvenience on Election Day. According to the Progressive Liberal Party candidate for Killarney, Robin Lines, a few of these grievances also crossed her desk.
That was a little disappointing to me. I know that the Parliamentary Registration Department had a lot going on, and so maybe some things have fallen through the cracks. So admittedly, that has been a bit of a disappointment.
Leading her to call for an overhaul of the registration process.
We have to act like a country that is 50 plus years into independence and really regularize our processes so that we have no issues in the future.
But it was not just Killarney experiencing the issue. Over in Mount Moriah, Coalition of Independents candidate Linda Stubbs says she experienced a similar difficulty with voters. This voter, however, did not have the ease of just driving back to the existing constituency to vote.
Now, the PRD would have done that transfer on the 1st of April 2026. I remember it clearly. And it is so disenfranchising for her because how is she to get to Abaco now to vote? Because someone within the PRD did not follow through. And then we had another incident with one locally. He came from Carmichael into Mount Moriah, and they were denying him the right to vote.
And while some have chopped up the issue to human error, Stubbs says at some point it's still not a sufficient excuse.
But when you stood on that line for 3 hours and then all to find out that you cannot vote and you know you did the right thing, and have to vote on a yellow ballot, I don't think that's fair at all.
Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Janelle. Well, still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, cruise passengers, they're being stabilized to be airlifted to the U.S. We'll tell you why coming up. But first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Ram Promotions, Spike ENT, Hennessy and Rude Boy presents Back to Basics, the 90s versus 2000s, Harvest Time Edition. Now taking place on the new date, Saturday, May 30th. At Breezes Grounds. Gates open from 8 p.m. until 3 a.m. The first 100 patrons are eligible to win a pair of round-trip tickets to any Bahamas Air destination. Back to Basics, 90s versus 2000s, with live performance by Chesedek. Hosted by Rika C. and Roxy Star. Music by the world immortal Stone Love. and Bass Odyssey.
Yes, Odyssey comes 10 ton.
Extra large international. Tico T. DJ Tank. Select the Tie. Select the 3D and DJ Blaze. Tickets are $30 in advance, more at the gate. Tickets sold at Purple Brew, Plantation, Halo Lashes, Hit Spot, The Bay Restaurant and Players Lounge, Fabulous Productions, Hodges, and Eventbrite.com. Sponsored by Bahamas Air, Hennessy and Rude Boy Drinks Bahamas. Now taking place on the new date, Saturday, May 30th.
Because their skin is as delicate as they are, every cuddle should feel like a cloud. Insuino Baby is hypoallergenic and plant-based, providing 35 days of gentle freshness. Insuino Baby, softness you can trust for the ones you love the most.
Step inside a world of adventure with Mandalorian and Grogu at Burger King. See The Mandalorian and Grogu, only in cinemas.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, the non-resident cruise passenger who was admitted to hospital over the weekend was in the intensive care unit where they're being stabilized and prepared for airlift to the U.S. Speaking with Eyewitness News outside of the Tall Pines Voting Center yesterday, Dr. Michael Darville provided the update and also addressed concerns from members of the public who are growing anxious about virus fears.
I'm not too concerned about what has happened recently because it's happened in the past. But at the World Health Organization, there's something that we've been doing called post-pandemic preparedness. Every country has been mandated by the World Health Assembly to begin to get their country ready. In the event, God forbid, we have another pandemic, we need to be ready. We cannot find ourselves in the same position where our tertiary healthcare facility is not prepared. And this is one of the reasons why we moved swiftly to build a new hospital, because this hospital will be able to handle the infectious load and to be able to take care of patients who have medical conditions simultaneously in the midst of the pandemic. The Princess Margaret Hospital, the wards are Florence Nightingale, they're open, and that's not the way for infectious diseases, and that's the reason why we had so many challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. We were not prepared for a pandemic. And under the World Health Assembly, it is our responsibility for every country in the region and by extension in the world to begin to get ready, because God forbid we have a pandemic, we need to be ready to address it.
So as a government Eyewitness News tonight, more women headed to the lower chamber. We've got the details right after this break.
At Marco's, we make it better. Better ingredients, better flavors, better quality. A signature sauce that families have always counted on. We are not only serving your family, but our families too. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas with center squares or cheesy bread for just $29.95. When you want pizza you can trust, choose Marco's. Your family deserves the best. Marco's Pizza, crafted with heart and proudly shared with love.
5 cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
We're learning, even playing, we're having lots of fun. We're working with each other until the day is done.
Once students of the C.W. Sawyer Primary School hear that sound, they know it's story time. The school recently celebrated Literacy Month. Here's Senior Mistress Tara DeVoe.
Our school this year, we used reading the book Paddington in Peru. And the book is usually associated with a movie, which the children get to watch at Atlantis at the end of the month. Every day is an assigned chapter. So during the SOAR reading period, our boys and girls will be read to either by their teacher or guest readers, or even parents. We want to foster a love for reading. I know during the reading block or reading periods in class. We know that children may have this perception that, oh, we're reading just to learn something, or we're reading because we have to read as a class. But we want children to just take a book and enjoy it, open books, and the wonderful world that's out there when you open books. Just reading for pleasure. Then we want to foster that with our boys and our girls. We do have some competitions that are going on. We have a composition competition that's going to be launched on Monday. We also have a book log competition where we're encouraging boys and girls to read as many books as possible. And there's a competition there, so there's a prize going to be awarded to the child who reads the most books.
Deputy Head Girl Esther Honorat says she's soaking it all up during her last months at her beloved school.
Reading is very important because reading is all around us. We have authors, writers, and we read lots of books. So that's why I love this literacy month, because it just shows how important reading is, and reading is important to everybody.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, tonight, women taking a more visible role in this election season, stepping into the political arena to make their voices heard. From the campaign trail to community meetings, female candidates across the major parties, they're pushing for greater representation and a stronger say in the country's future. Laurencia Smith has the details tonight.
The political arena has long been viewed as a man's world, but this election season, women took center stage, making their presence felt in a major way. Following the results of the general election on Tuesday night, 9 women secured their seat in the House of Assembly, including 7 re-elected candidates from the Progressive Liberal Party and 2 from the Free National Movement. Glennis Hannah Martin, Pia Glover Roll, Lisa Raming, Ginger Moxie, Patricia DeVoe, JoBeth Colby Davis, Leslie Miller Bryce, Michaela Barnett Ellis, and Frazette Gibson. The Progressive Liberal Party fielded 11 women in the contest, while the Free National Movement put forth 12 female candidates. More than 5 independent women were also entered into the race. Meanwhile, the Coalition of Independent fielded 22 women on its ticket, making a significant shift in the country's political landscape.
And until we have a more balanced representation, we cannot be satisfied with that which we have achieved.
That's Dame Janet Boswick, the first woman ever elected to the House of Assembly back in 1982, the political pioneer says. While the significant strides have been made, more must be done to ensure women have a stronger voice and a greater representation in national politics. Of the 41 seats up for grabs this election, Angliston and Elizabeth are the only 2 constituencies where every candidate in the race is a woman. And with the Coalition of Independents, 2 of the party's top leadership posts, deputy leader and chairman, are also held by women. The COI chair, Charlotte Green, says it was important for the party to ensure that women were well represented on their ticket.
My hope and vision is to see women really put policies in place that is going to open the door for our future generations. Really rewarding to see these women stepping forward. It says a lot about where we are as a country.
And the former opposition leader, Loretta Butler Turner, the first woman to serve as a leader of the opposition, is also applauding the growth of a number of women entering the political race.
There are still very fundamental constitutional issues that women face in the Bahamas. Maybe if we have larger numbers of women at the table, they'll be able to try and correct those things. We need to have voices that represent certainly issues that concern women, particularly as it relates to family, as it relates to children.
Now, when you think about the halls of parliament, a woman has held almost every position with the exception of prime minister. And with so many women offering themselves for public life, the big question remains now, is the country actually ready for a woman to lead? Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Well, that wraps up news at this hour. But coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, more election talk immediately following last night's results. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Eatin' Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, a political night for the history books. The PLP celebrates a sweeping victory as the nation delivers its verdict at the polls. Tonight, comprehensive coverage and recap on the 2026 election and the people's decision. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The Progressive Liberal Party has secured a second consecutive term in office, delivering a commanding victory in the 2026 general election and reshaping the country's political landscape in the process. But beyond these celebrations, the results are also sparking a bigger conversation across the country and the wider region, whether voters are still driven by confidence in political leadership or whether many are simply choosing what they see as the lesser of two options, or you would know lesser of two evils. Tonight, questions about party divisions, third-party growth, voter frustration, and demands for greater accountability now taking center stage as the country looks ahead to the next 5 years. Now, before we go to Jose Etienne in this story, I want to bring in the panel right now. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all in. Leslie Miller, Gabrielle McKinsey Aeneas. I know we have Howard Johnson supposed to be with us. And let me guess, right, Justin? That can't happen. I have a feeling. I do have a feeling exactly why you perhaps would tell me that it can't happen. But good evening to you both. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Leslie. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm so happy to be sitting next to Leslie tonight, Shanique.
Yeah, I bet she is.
Leslie, don't talk our business on the air, man.
Listen, no money talk. No money talk on the air tonight. But I want to ask you all, any surprises before we hear and get a full sort of insight into yesterday's vote? I want to ask each of you, any surprises yesterday?
Leslie, what was your surprise?
My surprise is that we got 33.
30. What did you think?
I was calling between 24 to 26 and 30. I was a high. I was really wonderfully surprised.
That's
people
interesting.
Just came out in droves, and what was interesting,
Oh,
I listened to Mr. Ingram and his people on Monday night. Mr. Ingram was very powerful in what he had to say. And he continued to go after Sebastian for whatever reason. And I think people sort of got fed up with this situation that you're picking on somebody because they are successful. And from going door to door, especially over the last 2 weeks, was so intense. Dave and I, we went in 4 different areas from sometime 10 in the morning till 8 at night. I'm so weary and I can't wait to go to Miami and just get a break, man.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying they don't connect with the current leader of the FNM. They just didn't trust him. They just felt that this is not the man that I could afford to take a chance on to lead my country at this time. They didn't come up with any plans. All they did was criticize the present government with what they figure had transpired over the last 4.5 years. And we kept hearing that over and over and over again.
We will dissect each of these organizations and their message, their campaign strategy. We will do that in a minute. But I just want to, before we get to that, because I don't want you jumping ahead, Gabrielle, any surprises from yesterday's vote?
Two. Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. Not surprised at all.
He said he's going to get beat.
Not surprised at all.
You said that, Leslie. You said he said this. He's been saying that.
MacGyver's going to take enough votes to strip him and make him lose. And I think she got, how much votes she got?
She got sufficiently more than him.
I don't know if she got more than him.
Yes, he finished last in that race.
Yeah, she got more than him.
Let me
he
see. He
finished last in that race, and I was surprised at how tight it was between Robin Lyons and Michaela Barnett Ellis. It came down to about some 20 votes.
Yeah.
And that was tough. They were, I know they were still recounting today, so I'm interested in seeing. So get this, you all. Dr. Hubert Minnis received a total of 565 votes. Dr. MacGyver, 545 votes.
Okay. So he ended up on.
I told you she's got between 400 to 600.
He edged
her out.
And that 400 to 600
yeah.
was going to decimate.
Now this is extremely close. Of course, Michaela Barnett Ellis received 1,992 votes. Robin Lyons, 1,972 votes. And so, yeah, that is
Is that after the recount today, Shanique?
This is just what I have from last night. I don't even know. Perhaps it's even lessened since then.
Yeah, that was a very tough race. I mean, Robin Lyons came in 90 days. I think she ought to be commended by the Progressive Liberal Party. I think she's definitely should be one of their Senate picks. Because to come in that late in the game and to do so impressively well, she deserves to be honored in some sort of way.
She was in the Senate before.
She was a senator before.
But she did a wonderful job.
And then, of course, Lincoln Deal.
Yes.
Lincoln Deal was the number one, as I mentioned here on this show before, superstar F&M candidate coming out there defeating Leslie's candidate, the National Security Minister, Wayne Monroe.
We could have easily beat Deal if the man had done what we asked him to do. But I can leave that there.
Yeah, leave
Deal
it,
is not
leave
a
that.
MP.
Meanwhile,
Congratulations,
as we leave it
Mr.
there,
Deal.
I'll tell you this.
Congratulations.
I'll tell you what many people are surprised at, and I'm sure the political organizations, especially the two major parties, are paying attention to. The Coalition of Independents received, and I'll tell you right now, a total of 13.
What's that total?
I'll tell you this right now. They received a total of 13,800 votes. And of course,
that's not what I was hearing last night.
Yes, that's what they did. That's the official number. And if they, sometimes you can pick up a vote here or there in the recount, and so, but basically 13,800 votes. So there's a surprise as well. Meanwhile, you all, we're going to get started tonight. Here's Jose Etienne with a recap of how the Davis administration took its message of progress and gained the trust of the Bahamian people once again.
On Tuesday night, the country witnessed a sweeping triumph that rewrote the political playbook, upending the era of one-term governments that became the status quo since 2002. It was a resounding election that left the Free National Movement reeling on the opposition benches, while the Progressive Liberal Party goes back-to-back for the first time in 5 decades.
The Bahamian people chose progress.
He's now the Right Honorable Prime Minister Philip Davis, now that he led his team to another major victory. He addressed a packed crowd of party supporters at Clifford Park shortly after briefly monitoring the election results with residents in Cat Island. And there, PLP supporters were declaring victory while the votes were still landing. Davis, now tasked with a second mandate, says the work continues.
We want a country in which all of you and your children and your grandchildren will thrive. They have promised you much, and I promise you, with every bone in my body and every beat of my heart, we will do all that we can to deliver.
But still, a major cloud hanging over the election was the dismal voter turnout, just as it did in 2021 when the Davis-led PLP was first elected. Prime Minister Davis accepts that the scale of his victory does not diminish the need for higher electoral participation.
This is not good for the democratic fabric of our society. We must do all that we can to ensure that every Bahamian in every election feels that their vote counts.
Nonetheless, the Bahamas joins other regional countries such as Jamaica, Barbados, and Antigua that saw governments re-elected. The Davis administration has highlighted what it calls progress on energy reform, tackling crime, landing dozens of foreign direct investments, infrastructural upgrades, and giving more attention to family islands. But the Davis administration hasn't had a perfect term, facing scathing scrutiny over overspending and the abuse of taxpayer dollars, buyouts for the politically connected, while union unrest remained the order of the day. Whether those issues and others resulted in voters casting their ballots against the PLP, Davis says their concerns haven't fallen on deaf ears.
I've listened to you, I've heard you, and I want you to know that I will continue to work hard for all Bahamians, as I've sought to do these past years.
The governing PLP has secured 33 of the 41 seats, losing their leader of government business and Freetown Member of Parliament Wayne Monroe, while other political hopefuls missed the mark. However, Davis, Cooper, and the rest of the team continue to defend its first term while looking to use its second term to make its case to the voters, potentially in 2031. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Mike is not a new Minister of
Meanwhile,
Finance.
the regional leaders, along with the United States Secretary of State, tipping their hats off to Prime Minister Davis on his electoral victory. Davis became the first Prime Minister since 1997, about 30 years ago, to secure a consecutive victory at the polls. In a statement, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who secured 3 consecutive terms herself just recently, says that the Davis's victory is one of continued trust, but also one of continued responsibility, while acknowledging the Bahamas' role in confronting external shocks and climate vulnerability. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness also congratulated Davis, and the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio applauded the role of international observers in the country, while also making known its intention to advance transparent and reliable economic and infrastructure partnerships. Now, of course, you all know we just referred to, and Jose said in his report about the trend, this recent trend of, you see Prime Minister Davis there with some of his his regional colleagues, Mia Motley among the first to congratulate him. But we're talking about the recent trend in the region where re-electing governments have become a thing. We saw in recent months Guyana, Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, and of course now the Bahamas joining that list of re-electing the incumbents and trusting incumbent governments to move them forward. It happened just 3 times this year, and I think about 2-3 times last year as well. And so Leslie and Gabrielle and Howard, good evening to you. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you tuned in. It's certainly, Howard, you can jump in because we haven't heard your voices yet, Howard. Certainly something that Philip Brave Davis himself can be proud of. One, breaking that sort of back and forth, flipping and flopping for the last 30 years, Bahamian elections, and then being re-elected, having the Bahamian people say, you know what, we kind of bought into your message of progress. We've seen some things we perhaps liked and want to see it continue and be built on. I think you're muted, Howard.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good evening to you, Shanique. Good evening to Leslie and Gabby, and good evening to the Bahamas. Yes, Shanique, I first of all want to congratulate Prime Minister Davis for securing the mandate, him and his party, for securing a mandate to serve a second term. And I also want to congratulate the members of the opposition that won their seats as well, because as we know, both opposition and the government make up the government. So congratulations to them. The mandate that Prime Minister Davis has. I see a lot of people out here now talking about it's not a popular mandate, it's not a strong mandate because of the 55%. A mandate is a mandate, Shanique. If Prime Minister Davis and his government had secured 100% of the votes, he would still be swearing in tomorrow to be the Prime Minister for the next 5 years. So those things are just matters of political hyperbole, you know, and depend on what preference you have. He has the mandate to govern. I hope the fact that it was not a big number, 55% is a good number. Whatever the number is, you have the mandate. But he said, rightly so. He said, rightly so last night, he is concerned about that apathy that is out there with people that decided that they were not going to come out and vote. At the end of the day, though, Shanique, and this is the last thing I'll say, voting for the FNM is a right to vote. Voting for the COI and voting for the PLP is a right to vote. And sitting on the sidelines, although I don't like it, it is also a right in a democratic country to not participate. So all of it is your right to vote, but it does not undermine the mandate to govern in any way.
We're going to take a first break this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. A lot to get to, and man, already we are nearly halfway through the show. I have a feeling that we're just going to tip the iceberg, but it continues tomorrow evening, and of course a whole wrap up on Friday, so you want to stay tuned to Beyond the Headlines as we look at election 2026 and the results, the voice of the Bahamian people. Meanwhile, we're going to take a first break this evening and come back with more of Beyond the Headlines right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
Welcome to Grand Bahama Tile's post-Mother's Day pop-up sale. This Thursday and Friday, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Come in and see our new arrivals of outdoor and indoor tiles with new designs and textures. There's something special waiting just for you. Just 2 days only. Call them at 352-7920. Restrictions apply.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Did you know that when you shop at cbsbahamas.com, you can see directly into our vendors' warehouses? What that means is even if we only have a dozen of an item available in store, you can order virtually as many as you want directly from our vendors and have it delivered to your doorstep in just 10 to 14 days. You don't have to worry about shipping, imports, duties, or any of the hard stuff. Our backorder program is unique, and it's only at cbsbahamas.com.
My name is Charles Wesley Roll. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
5 cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. This is an election recap. You all know about 24 hours ago, I was sitting on the set, but it was a whole different set of circumstances. We were calling out the results. Everybody was on the edge of their seats, wondering exactly how the Bahamian people voted and who would become government. Would the PLP be successful? Would the Free National Movement be successful? Of course, we know by now those results. And I'll tell you, it was a devastating loss at the polls for the Free National Movement. It has left them now at a crossroads, facing the real possibility of a leadership shakeup as pressure builds internally and questions loom. We get this story from Linton Ritchie Jr.
Opposition Free National Movement now facing the prospect of a party leadership convention following a landslide defeat at the 2026 general election polls to the Progressive Liberal Party, which now puts pressure on the F&M leadership. Party leader Michael Pintard emerged as the only member of the party's leadership team to successfully retain his seat, while Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright and Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands both suffered a devastating loss at the polls.
I believe in conventions. I've honored it. But more importantly, I'm committed to having a discussion with the team, and over the course of the next few days, we will make a decision.
Under Pintard's leadership, this is now the party's 3rd straight loss. Back in 2023, the F&M was defeated during a by-election for West Grand Bahama and Bimini. 2 years later, in 2025, a Golden Isles by-election saw the PLP's Darren Pickstock emerge victorious over the F&M's Brian Brown. As convention talks are imminent, there are speculation on who will challenge the leadership of the party. Eyes are fixed toward veteran politicians Dr. Andre Rollins and Kwesi Thompson. Meanwhile, could we even see newcomers to frontline politics make that move like Michaela Barnett Ellis, Lincoln Deal, or Frazette Gibson? With the party unofficially winning 8 seats, those elected say despite the party's defeat, they are confident in the future of the F&M.
It's not the result that we wanted. It's not the result, I believe, that any of the supporters would have wanted. But the people of the Bahamas have spoken. We respect their views.
We're going to get together and refocus, reshape this party to be one of the best parties in this country. And I don't think all is lost.
And while the future of Pintard's leadership remained uncertain, he rallied up party supporters, emphasizing there's no backing down.
Work continues. No retreat, no surrender.
The F&M now represents Marco City, Central Grand Bahama, East Grand Bahama, Killarney, Freetown, Michael, St. Anne's, and Long Island. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Right in, you all. That's a lot to dissect right there. The Free National Movement winning 8 seats. 8 seats. Really, the PLP, Brave Davis, a sweep at the polls, winning 33 seats. And so what does that mean for the opposition Free National Movement? What does it even mean, a greater question, for the leadership of Michael Pintard? Do F&Ms now have any faith, any trust in his leadership moving forward? And how will that sort of pan out in the months and years ahead? Howard, you want to jump in first?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, first of all, seeing the 8 that have won for the Free National Movement, I believe in this interim period. I don't know how long interim is going to be defined as, but I don't see anyone replacing Michael Pintard out of the crop of individuals that have been elected on the Free National Movement side. As they go about the task of deciding what their future looks like, taking internal reflections, doing political assessments, and their postmortem on everything that has happened over the course of the last 5 years, they have to keep the leadership, what's left of it, cemented. The deputy leader went down. The chairman did not win a seat. And I think to remove Mr. Pintard right now, within the next year, 2 years, 3 years, would cause a catastrophe in that leadership core of the party. So that's my view, that as they assess and do what they need to do to attempt to right-size their party and be prepared for 2031, they still need to leave the top of their leadership core in place.
So you're saying it'll create too much instability right now if they were to make any sudden moves?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gabrielle, your thoughts?
I concur 100%. In fact, I just had a conversation with someone today that wanted to know my thoughts in terms of, they were talking about convention. I think changing leadership now is going to drive you too far into catastrophe when you have persons still licking their wounds. I feel like that may have been one of the challenges that the Free National Movement had, even with Dr. Minnis, just jumping straight ahead into a leadership convention before they got time to really assess what had even happened. The pressures from the outside, from governing party officials are going to say, you need to change your leader, you need to change your leader. You need to reflect, you need to slow down, pump the brakes, and really and truly go into a postmodern that includes everyone. You have to pull the people off of the sidelines. You have to open up to F&Ms that felt like they were shut out of the process, and you have to let them in and let their voices be heard. There needs to be a healing and a true reckoning within the F&M. And then I disagree with Howard that no one from the 8 though can emerge as leader.
Now, who would you say?
I disagree on that. I do think, however, that in this interim, should the party choose to go in that direction, that Pintard should maintain at the helms. There's about 100 and something questions he placed before the government that still need to be answered.
Gabrielle, don't shift about that. You say you disagree. So who would you say is well suited?
I don't want to preempt anything. I don't want to preempt anything.
So it sounds like something is
I don't know. I don't want to preempt anything, but Howard, based on what Howard said, that he doesn't see anyone. I think there are leadership qualities that do exist from the 8 that were elected because they all won their seats. So there is something, but
Howard Johnson, we shall keep our eyes locked in on what the F&M does.
Qualities, I just want to make sure you know, I'm not saying they don't have leadership qualities. I'm just saying that in this interim period, I don't see anyone that should replace Michael Pintard or that has the experience and the skill set that he has to take them forward in this interim period.
And that is where I agree with Howard, because it's unfair, I feel, for some of the new ones to be pushed into that harsh glare of the spotlight in the leadership glare of the spotlight for them. It's unfair. They've just been elected. They're trying to find their political footing, Leslie. And so who?
I think it's going to be very difficult for Mr. Pintard to hold on to the leadership, say, over the next 12 months without having a fight for his life. Dr. Rawlins has experience, been in Parliament from 2012, when we won, before he jumped ship and went with the F&M. He's a very brilliant young man. I liked him. In fact, I used to coach him and his counterpart in Parliament. Brilliant young man, if he can hold things together. I think you're going to find the two younger ones in there, also the lady who beat Dr. Minnis, is going to be vying for the leadership. Top of the poll. As far as they're concerned, Mr. Pintard has lost 3 streets, 2 by-election and this election, but he got wiped out. So there's no reason why they're not going to hit their chest and say, this guy was this good, and what you all are talking about, the leadership experience, what he has. He got beat on that leadership experience. So don't tell me you have no experience when you get wiped out. They're not going to fall into that argument. It's an open market there for those who have the guts to step forward, and I think Rawlins certainly have it. And the young lady, I believe, have it.
So do you agree with Howard and I that he should stay on interimly, at least as the transition?
I would say for the next 6 months, yes. But with the defeat that took place, everybody in there now who won is equal to each other. And they're not going to give him any ground.
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
Yeah.
Fellas, I won, you won, I won too. I got experience, I got experience.
Everyone's equal.
Everybody equal.
Absolutely. Well, we will see obviously exactly what the F&M does and what it intends on doing. Will they say, let's stay and keep this ship as it is right now so that we don't kind of make anything more volatile than it needs to be at this moment? Or will they decide to shake things up immediately so that they can have this time to rebuild? Remember, that's important as well. Having this long window ahead of you to rebuild, have someone established, and then move forward. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Meanwhile, you all, Pinewood, where a closely contested race led to a formal recount, saw moments of tension during the recounting process today. Laurencia Smith was on the ground inside the counting center and has this story of what took place today.
It was a shocking race to watch for many Bahamians as the Coalition of Independents managed to draw significant voter support in the 2026 general election, emerging as one of the strongest.
Tensions reaching a boiling point this afternoon during the Pinewood constituency recount over at Montable, with a Progressive Liberal Party agent being removed from the room by police officers after a heated exchange broke out inside the counting center. The incident unfolded as representatives from the Progressive Liberal Party, the Free National Movement, and the Coalition of Independents, including leader and candidate for the area Lincoln Bain, were challenging several ballots. And that's when the F&M personnel claimed that she was pushed by the PLP personnel. The deputy returning officer called for the removal of the agent in an effort to restore order and allow the count to continue. Officers stepped in and escorted the agent out. Now, Eyewitness News understand that the recount began around 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Bain was seen throughout the recount examining each ballot and raising questions when needed. Now, at this time, he has unofficially claimed 1,132 votes.
We have seen enough already to go to election court. There's stuff I'm not going to mention until we go to our lawyers, but there's some stuff here that is happening, even in the same procedure, that makes this enough to go to election court, and you're going to be hearing about that in short order.
The Pinewood constituency is made up of 13 polling divisions with 5,544 registered voters. Based on the unofficial results, 3,565 ballots were cast in the 2026 general election, representing an approximate voter turnout of 65%. Incumbent for the area, Miles LaRota, credit his success at the polls to the party's base in the area.
The numbers are consistent. I'm around 1,500
When Kalis Roll lost in 2017, he was around 1,600 votes. When I won in 2021, I was around 1,700. And you look at polling division by polling division, we have been consistent across. Of the 13 polling divisions, I had over 100 votes, I think, in 9 of them.
Political watchers had long projected Pinewood as a key battleground constituency this election season, emerging as a race to watch between the incumbent, Lorota, COI leader Bain, and the Free National Movement's newcomer, Denari Roll.
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm still happy. Everything I did was from the bottom of my heart. I still think I'm the better candidate, but over the next 5 years, you'll be hearing more and seeing more of me inside the community and across the Bahama.
Well, you all know exactly what that was. And so before we go to the break, the COI gave a very impressive showing. They received, as it stands now officially, 13,800 votes. In fact, in about 3 to 4 constituencies, the COI got the second highest amount of votes, next to the candidate that won and that was elected and successful at the polls. And so the COI making quite an impression, quite an indent into the voters' numbers and whether who won or who lost. And so looking very impressive this evening. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk more about the COI's factor, about that Pinewood row, and also what do we think about it? Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Adventures in the Arts presents Resurrection and New Beginnings. This, our second spring show, we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary of edutainment, and we invite you to enjoy the finest jam-packed cast of vocalists, musicians, and dancers once again. This 2-night event will be at Christ Community Church on Bellot Road, and tickets can be purchased at Logos Bookstore, Custom Computers in the Caves Village, and Christ Community Church. So don't miss Adventures in the Arts, Resurrection, and New Beginnings. It'll be an adventure to remember.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Welcome back to Be on the Headlines. Good to have you all tuned in this evening. As we said before the break, the third-party faction was quite impressive. The Coalition of Independents, the only third party to be contesting the 2026 general election, received a total of 13,800 votes. Now, if you want a little history, let me just juggle your memory for a moment. This was in the 2012 general election. The Democratic National Alliance, DNA, received a total of 13,186 votes. So they both are roughly about even, with about 8.5% of the popular vote they both received. And so there's how that played out. Now, you all see, but welcome back, by the way, Leslie, Gabrielle, Howard, welcome back to Be on the Headlines. You all see what's playing out in Pinewood. And no doubt that that vote and the decision there will go to election court as Bain in particular, who came in second with the second highest amount of votes in Pinewood, will petition some of the ballots to see if perhaps they can be turned in his favor. You all, again, let me remind you exactly of what the official count, just as it stands right now, is. Miles LaRota, 1,446. Lincoln Bain, 1,132. Denari Roll, 987. That is the count as it stands right now. You all, your thoughts on Pinewood, how this played out, and the fact that in every polling division that I'm looking at, Lincoln Bain did well. Miles LaRota beat him by a few votes, and other areas, larger amounts of votes. You all watched that play out last night live. It was pretty close for a moment that we saw it here on Eyewitness News and our coverage. LaRota ended up edging out Bain for the win. But you all, Pinewood, something that's going to be keen and interesting to watch as the election court happens, obviously.
314 votes is the difference that Lincoln Bain is going to go to election court over. I think Howard can definitely tell us how difficult it is to find 314 votes. Howard, how difficult it is to find 30 votes in an election court.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That is insane. On top of that, the most surprising thing for me was that Mr. Bain was able to garner all of this support while putting on no major programs in the community, no camps, no major programs, no anything. He was able to garner all of this support in hopes that he may do something for them without having to do anything. I think it was crème de la crème. Everyone else had to put some skin in the game. They had to have camps. They had buses out. They had cars out. But all Lincoln Bain had to do was go live. That's it.
Yeah.
Howard, your thoughts?
Yeah. So Shanique, I tend to agree with Gabby for sure. Lincoln Bain and the COI cannot be ignored. I noticed that last night the leader of the opposition in his concession speech did not even name them. But as you indicated, and as the record indicated, they won in at least, I believe, 4. They beat the FNM in 4 constituencies. So we cannot ignore them. The difference is the COI going to now become a viable third party or a real third party in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? Or are they going to continue to be seen as a protest movement? And here's why I say that, because even though they did well and they garnered the number of votes that they did, at the end of the day, you make real noise when you are in the parliament, and they won no seats. That's the reality. 13,000 votes, impressive showing, got more votes than the FNM in some constituencies, but you won no seats. At the end of the day, you have to win at least 1 seat to really be taken seriously as a part of the government. Now, there were 2 things that happened real quick, so Leslie can jump in. There were 2 things that happened. I believe, and I don't mean to throw anyone under the bus, but I believe there was a young lady on Eyewitness News last night that may have potentially prematurely said something that sparked Lincoln, you know, like that he won. That was the first thing, right? And so we all know that you don't need to give Lincoln much. Man, if you pass gas, you had Lincoln standing by, he going live the next about you passing gas. So you have to be very careful with what, and Lincoln is my friend and I love him. But that's the problem. Now Lincoln is on his way to election court, and these are the things that Lincoln thrive off and give him life.
That's right.
The chaos, the protesting, the playing victim, and these are the things that truly give Lincoln life, and he's going to fight tooth and nail for things like that.
You know, it's really incredible that the people of that constituency gave this man a third chance at life. I thought he was gone, you know. Shit, I had his coffin and everything sitting up there. The damn guy walked with the coffin, you know. However, you cannot overcome a deficit of 300, eh? Ain't gonna happen in this lifetime. And you know, his election court situation, he's gonna get a lot of publicity off it. That's what it's all about for him now, to try to get the press every day. But unless you in a tie vote or very close, within a margin of 20 votes, you're only wasting time. That's going to be a total waste of time. The court has to spend all of that time counting those votes again, and the deficit is 300 something. It's not going to happen. You know, there's no way he can walk into Parliament except when he go there to resell. You know, he probably can take some pictures, but you ain't getting them, my brother. I just will tell you now. That ain't happening in this lifetime.
And Shanique, one more thing, Shanique. And the second thing that I wanted to say, some of this protesting that Lincoln is doing now was also because, as I saw on social media, he is saying that I was leading at several different intervals during the night. Well, that's what happens.
Yes.
The numbers change.
The final tally.
The situation when you start counting votes until the final tally is had, what happens is fluid. The situation
keep moving.
My cousin, for example, my cousin Sylvanus Petty and Naughty Lutra, several times early on as the vote counts changed, he was losing to Ricky Mackey. Several people started reaching out to me and say, boy, look like your car's gone. Like your car's gone. And at the end of the night, Sylvanus prevailed. So what Lincoln is saying is not something that someone is creating as far as a diabolical conspiracy against him. This is what happens every election. There were lots of changes to people's numbers throughout the night last night.
That's a publicity stunt, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. We know the night was very, very fluid, and that is why those are the unofficial results. And then today with the recount, those are the official results, because that's how election results come in, quite just, again, fluid. And so you just kind of sort of go with it and call it as they come in. And again, just as you say, many times it looks one way, as though a constituency is going in one direction, and then other times it just ends up in a different direction. Well, I'll tell you this. Let us look at this. Fort Charlotte Member of Parliament-elect Sabas Bastian is celebrating after delivering one of the most dominant constituency victories in recent Bahamian political history.
The pilot ain't be flying too much anymore.
Let's talk about this. The political newcomer, Sabas, secured 3,386 votes, sweeping every polling division in Fort Charlotte and capturing nearly 70% of the vote as the PLP cruised to an historic re-election win. Now, with the campaign over and the celebrations winding down, Bastian is revealing that work on the ground in Fort Charlotte has already started and is promising residents that there is much more to come.
We have a plan to address the flooding in the flood-prone areas of Fort Charlotte. We have phase 2 of the Technology, Arts and Culture Center that's slated to break ground this year. We have the housing project that we're working closely with the Ministry of Housing to bring into Fort Charlotte. We're just going to expand our programs within the Fort Charlotte Technology Center, which is going to include a lot of our AI training, business training, entrepreneurship programs. And we're going to pay a very important attention to the special needs children as well. When you go door to door, you have a different appreciation of just how widespread that is. And I promise a lot of those residents that I would be their freedom fighter in that regard.
Bastian is also crediting the people of Fort Charlotte for his landslide victory, adding that many of the plans now being put forward were developed through the direct engagement with residents during his campaign.
We began instead of this traditional campaigning, we just assumed as we canvassed and started to develop our plan, which we ensured that the first 3 months we listened. And then we took that information, and that's how we came up with our plan for Fort Charlotte for the next 5 years, because we wanted to make sure that it incorporated what the residents really want. I didn't want to come in here and parachute and think that I know what Fort Charlotte wants. So that plan that we put out was a combination of, great ideas for the community, as well as the concerns that we got back in. And we just got to work.
About the Sabas factor in this election season. We saw him speaking at rallies, not just those that were centered around his division and district in terms of where Fort Charlotte is positioned, but other areas, even off island, because Sabas really sort of brought his own allure to this campaign season, the 2026 campaign season. Your thoughts on the Sabas factor?
Modern day campaigning at its best. People wanted something innovative, people wanted something different, and they wanted someone that they have seen deliver results. And that's what they got in Fort Charlotte. Shanique, when we sat on this show and talked about Fort Charlotte, I told you it was an insurmountable task for Travis. And Sabas, with the highest number margin to have won a constituency by ever in voting history, has shown us that the people overwhelmingly supported everything that he was selling to them.
Gabrielle, you're very right, but I just want to insert in here. I think Leslie and Seabreeze got about 72+% of the vote. I think Pia Glover-Roll may have gotten, and also as well as Elizabeth, JoBeth Colby Davis also more than 70.
Don't forget Gladys Anna Martin.
Yes,
she's always the front runner.
Hannah Martin got about 70 as well.
He just happened to top the list this election. He topped the list compared to the votes that his competitor got, completely blowing him out of the water. And so, Bastian, congratulations first and foremost. And the people of Fort Charlotte are ready to go higher.
Shanique, we can talk about Sabaz's larger-than-life personality. We could talk about his business acumen. We could talk about his ability to pump the resources into the community that he wants to represent. But the Sabaz factor for me was this. Sabaz ran a clean campaign where he stayed focused and he did not get negative and nasty against his opponent or the opposing party. And that's what I believe is the most critical Sabaz factor that can get lost. I connected with it because the 2 opportunities I had to be privileged to be a standard bearer for people, that was my mantra and that was my mindset as well. So the Sabaz factor in this election was running a clean campaign, staying on the ground and being focused on the work.
I think he's bring much to the forefront in his constituency. I think his win really assisted those around him. It assisted St. Barnabas. It assisted Baintown. Because he came in with such innovative ideas. I mean, here's a poison young man with the ability to get things done. And he showed the people that here's what I want to do. I respect you. I love you. I want to work and earn your trust. And he kept saying in the campaign trail, I want to earn your trust. Every time the president interviewed him, he said, I'm interested in one thing, earning the trust and faith of the people that I would wish to represent in the sacred halls of Parliament. He has done so. Congratulations. I think he has a wonderful future and he's going to do a wonderful job on behalf of his constituents.
Can we look forward to him being in cabinet?
There's no doubt about that.
We will see. I'll tell you that. Tomorrow night show, we will guess about who goes where in terms of cabinet positions and portfolios. Also, you will hear from the youth vote and what their thoughts were about this election season. What drew them in? Now, they registered in large numbers, as we know, but how many of them showed up?
A lot of them didn't vote.
How many of them showed up? But they were quite engaged. I thank you all so much for being here this evening. I think the vote also said a lot for those elected and who were successful. You now must show up in very innovative and engaging and meaningful ways in your constituency while you do the work of your portfolio. So you've got to be able to balance that properly, because the people are looking for you to make a difference in their lives and in their communities.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Not able to do so, you're going to be gone.
I tell you that.
Going to be gone.
Proof, you know. But I thank you so much, Leslie Miller. Thank you very much, Gabrielle McKinsey-Ineas and Howard Johnson. Thank you so much. And to all of you who told me to tell Leslie about this money he owes, I'll tell him, I will let, you all heard that?
Hey, Leslie.
You all heard that? I will let him know right after I come off air.
On Friday.
That he has this
we
money.
will deal with it on Friday.
That he has this money.
On Friday.
Thank you all
On
so much
Friday.
for tuning in. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
Drive.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.